Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Take It and Make It Tuesday, brought to you by the Clearview Library District. Tonight, we're happy to be able to welcome back one of our patron favorite presenters, and that is Letha Price, who's going to show you how you can make an eyeglass case, or a case that holds anything really, out of an old necktie. Before we do that, though, I just want to remind you that this is not the only awesome thing that we do in the Clearview Library District. Please visit our website, clearviewlibrary.org, to find out about all of the interesting programming that we have coming up for adults and kids of all ages. And while you're there, link to our social media sites on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Let's turn you over now to Letha, who's going to show you again how to make that eyeglass case out of an old necktie. Take it away, Letha.
Hi, this is what we're going to make today. It is an eyeglass case out of a man's necktie. This can also be used for cell phone, pens, pencils, whatever you want to use it for. And in your kit, you should have a tie with some thread, coordinating thread taped with it. You should have a package of fabric tape and pins and a needle for sewing and sticky back Velcro. Now when you make these, you want to, if you decide to make any in the future other than the one you're going to make today, you will want to make sure that you have a wide tie. This is a great width. This is not so great. Imagine trying to slip a pair of eyeglasses in there. This would not work very well. If you wanted to make it for slim holding, like pencils, that's fine. But for eyeglasses, you want a nice wide tie like this. So in your kit, as I said, you have a tie. The first thing that you'll do with a necktie is cut it. I have that pre-cut for you, but any future ones, you will want it to be 17 inches from the tip, and then down here is where you'll cut it. So basically you're using about half the length of the tie. And when you do cut the tie, you're going to notice that it probably gaps open in several places, and then there's usually some tacking. This tacking doesn't quite go all the way through, but it goes through so far that you cannot slip anything past it. So what you want to do, and I suggest getting a pair of scissors, possibly a seam ripper. If you're a sewer, you would have one of those around, and possibly a glue gun. So with this tacking that you see right here, we need to remove that. So you simply cut it, and it's probably going in a little ways, so you will need to do some snipping in here, being careful not to cut through to this side. You want that free to start with, so you can slide whatever it is inside. Then when that is done, we now have to secure this to the other half without going through the tie again. So with your needle and thread, or actually this can also be done completely with this fabric glue. You don't have to sew if you don't want to. My preference is the sewn method. So to sew it, you're basically catching underneath the top edge, catching a little bit of that piece under on this side, coming over to this side. And that is called a whip stitch. You'll do that all the way up. And yes, you can cut this tag off. It doesn't matter how sloppy it's cut, it's not going to show. And that will give you a little more room to get at that. As you whip stitch this or glue it, you will want to make sure, as I mentioned, that it does not go through and catch the other side. You want to be able to slip your hand down in here. So once that is slip stitched or glued lightly on that edge, you're then going to turn this part over only about a 1/2 inch and bring it up. You bring it up to where this V is, and you would then pin it. Being careful not to get the bottom part here. You want just catch this layer. So this would be glued down or whip stitched up. I would definitely whip stitch this part down. This is where it's going to have the most pull on it. If you do use enough glue, that may work, but I would recommend whip stitching it across and then down this side. Pretty simple. That's going to be the hardest part in making this, is just securing that. Already it's looking rather cute. Then you're going to take the Velcro dots that come in your kit. I would recommend taking the rough one to put here and the smooth one to put here. These are sticky back. I never trust sticky back Velcro. As you know, Velcro holds together pretty tight, and often when you pull it apart, it takes it from the garment or whatever. So that's when if you have a glue gun, you would want to use that. So glue this one first. And I'm going to show you a mistake that I made and prevent you from making it. I thought, well, okay, now I've got all this tacked and ready to go and this one glued. I'll bring it down here, and then I mark where I put the other Velcro. Well, when I did that over here, the glasses didn't fit in, so I had to move this dot up. So what I recommend, either try glasses in there or just to be extra safe, barely fold it down, mark where that Velcro is going to be, and then hot glue that dot right there. And when you finish, it will look like this secured one. And again, you can use it for carrying whatever you'd like. Have fun!